thejbeans.net.
We had a great time sailing aboard the Carnival Triumph in the summer of 2018. And if you follow these 10 tips, you'll likely enjoy sailing on her as much as we did. Our first tip is to take advantage of the many secret decks on the Carnival Triumph. There are a total of 5, yes, 5 secret decks, and we rarely encountered other passengers anytime we visited them. The first 2 secret decks are located all the way in the front of the ship on decks 6 and 7. You can find the sets of double doors to access the outside decks near staterooms 6207, 6208, 7207, and 7208. The second 2 secret decks are also located all the way in the front of the ship on decks 9 and 10. You can find the sets of double doors to access these outside decks near staterooms 9204, 1003, and 1004. Finally, the 5th secret deck, which you won't find displayed on any of the ship's deck plans, is surprisingly located in plain sight on deck 12 midship. You can easily access the deck via a set of stairs near the front of the jogging track on deck 11. To get to the jogging track, just take the set of stairs on deck 10 near the band DJ area that overlooks the Lido pool. Our next tip is to use one of the forward secret decks for a more quiet and scenic sail away. While most people flock to the thumping music and crowds of dancing crew members and guests at the Lido pool sail away party, we found the secret decks at the front of the ship were practically silent and gave a beautiful view of the water and city as we embarked on our cruise. Our third tip is to avoid embarkation congestion on deck 3 by walking up the atrium stairs to deck 4. Most people board the ship for the first time and immediately head to the forward elevators on deck 3, which makes for long waits to get anywhere. Instead, if you walk up the atrium stairs to deck 4, you can then walk through the upper level of the London dining room to the midship elevators, which were practically empty of guests during our embarkation. Our next tip is to make sure you know where your dining room's bathrooms are located, because they're all different. The easiest to find are the bathrooms for the bottom level of the Paris dining room located on deck 3 aft. They're located on either side of the entrance to the dining room. The bathrooms for the upper level of the Paris dining room, located on deck 4 aft, are located outside the dining room and around the corner. The women's room is on the starboard side or right side of the ship, and the men's room is on the port side or left side. For the upper level of the London dining room, located on deck 4 midship, the closest bathrooms are located out of the back of the dining room and around the corner, with the men's room located on the port side or left side, and the women's room located on the starboard side or right side. Finally, for the lower level of the London dining room, located on deck 3 midship, the closest bathrooms are located out of the front of the dining room and down the hall, past the shore excursions desk, and just before the entrance to the Rome Main Lounge entertainment venue. In addition to the odd bathroom locations, our 5th tip is to be aware of the many tight spaces in several of the Carnival Triumph's dining venues, especially if you have mobility issues. Even for completely able-bodied people, some of the spaces will be tough to navigate, particularly if other guests are seated and their chairs are further away from the table than usual. Be on the lookout for alternate routes if you find a particular area to be consistently problematic. Speaking of mobility issues, our next tip is to be aware that there is no way to get all the way from the front of the ship to the back of the ship on Deck 3 because of the location of the ship's galley. If you get stuck at the midship elevators, you'll need to go to another deck to complete your journey. Similarly, if the London dining room is closed or blocked off, which happens occasionally, you also won't be able to get all the way from the front of the ship to the back of the ship on Deck 4, unless you use one of the less than obvious detours. Our 7th tip is to make sure you know one of those less than obvious detours. There are many times that the Oxford Bar and Lounge on Deck 4 midship is closed or unavailable because of a private event. Instead of going to a different deck to get around it, just use the shortcut we did and make sure you look for Lifeboat 17 or 5 to find the re-entry doors. It works in both directions. Speaking of obstructions, our next tip is to get to the entertainment venues early if you want a good view of the show. Practically all of the entertainment venues have large columns that block the view of guests who are unfortunate enough to have to sit behind them. The Rome Main Lounge, Oxford Bar and Lounge, Hollywood Dance Club, and Club Rio all have obstructions to avoid. Our 9th tip is to check out the New World Pool located on Deck 9 aft, or the back of the ship. The Sun Pool and Universe Pool are easily the most popular pools on the Carnival Triumph due to their prime location at midship on Decks 9 and 10 respectively. If you're looking for another less popular option, check out the New World Pool located past the South Beach Club Lido Buffet. In addition to a pool, numerous lounge chairs, tables, chairs, and 2 jacuzzis. There's also the New World Bar, the Pizza Pirate, which is open 24 hours, the Seafood Shack, and a Swirls ice cream station. And if the sun's not your thing or if it starts raining, there's also a retractable roof overhead that's usually closed at least halfway. Finally, our last tip is to pay very close attention to the water temperature in your shower. Although the sign in the shower states you should make sure the shower temperature is set to 38 degrees Celsius or 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, there was no actual temperature setting for our shower controls on the Triumph, like we found on other cruise ships. We found that starting with the handle turned all the way counterclockwise and then slowly turning it back clockwise helped us find a comfortable temperature somewhere near the 6 o'clock position. It should be noted that we found all of the water on the Triumph, both in our cabin and around the ship, to be hotter than normal, so we got in the habit of turning every faucet all the way to the cold side to start, and then adjusted accordingly.